if we're going to look at an organizational chart, very simply, we have the person who makes decisions, and we have the staff underneath that who are in charge of the various aspects of it. Now, where most people start with new media is that it's some part of communications. People see it as online communications. A lot of titles have online communications in it. In some cases, which if you read, I haven't read it. I just read that in David Plouffe's book about the campaign, the Obama fundraising operation really wanted the online department to just be over here, right? Just bring in money, right? A lot of places, I know that when I started, I was in the communications department under the assistant director of communications as the internet person, right? And you have a problem where what happens online has to go through a number of steps in order to be effective. Or you have online relegated as what people think of online as being useful. But in order for online to be most effective, this is a line that Zach Exley, who was involved in Move On and the Dean campaign, said: if you're in online communications, you're in new media, just drop the online part of your title and just consider yourself a communicator. If you're an online organizer, consider yourself an organizer. If you're in online fundraising, consider yourself a fundraiser. It's only a matter of the media through which you do this work, as opposed to if you're raising money, you're raising money. If you're organizing events, you're organizing events. And so it's really important to have online here. And if you can't, and depending on staff, depending on other restraints, if you can't have it as a co-equal part here, how do you then make sure that there's a co-equal part within each of the organizational operations? How do you integrate online to be a part of communications and campaigning and fundraising? You do that by, it's a lot of internal organizing to go through with the other people you work with to figure out, well, here's how online communications works. We can respond to, we can, instead of trying to put our story through the filter of the media, we can publish our own take on it. Instead of just using online as an ATM, how do you use it to build engagement on your campaign and then have your activists reward you through fundraising? And so it's really about trying to break out of this hierarchy and either put it as a co-equal part or integrate it into each of the elements so that you're not just relegated to a small slice of the organizational activity. I know, Lana, that you've had some experience with this as well, if you want to dive into it.
One of the challenges that you'll find with this sometimes is that you just never hear about anything until it's too late for you to do it. Yeah. So one of you might regret this, but you might not. One of the ways that I was able to make sure I found out everything was I'd be like the only person who knew how to post shit to the website, which on the first might make you want to shoot people, but if your CMS isn't awful, or if you say are managing an admin, which I guess kind of made it a bit easier for me, just have them do it, but make people have to come to you to put it online. Now you know what's happening in your organization. 2, get yourself on everybody else's conference calls so that you find things out in time to be able to be a part of it. Yeah. I was lucky, at my last org, because I worked under the director of communications, but she knew that I knew this and she didn't, and just let me do my own thing. So her job was just telling people, go talk to Ilana, rather than her being like, I'm going to tell you blah, blah. At my new organization, at the union I'm working for now, though, I'm the director of communications. And it's understood that online is a big component of what that means, which means that structurally I'm positioned so that this isn't a side thought. I know that's not going to be possible for everybody. But
every organization is different, so your organizational structures are different. But in my organization, there's essentially an executive director who oversees a number of staff, and those various staff are appointed to campaign director positions that run a particular issue campaign, such as like healthcare for all, quality education for all, a social security campaign, a federal budget campaign, whatever it is. The way that I am able to not have to deal with any of that whole approval process at all is because I've been able to create this idea in another organizational culture where I'm seen as essentially a co-director with each of those people. And so the concept here is essentially thinking about your top-down organizational structure. At what point does the online organizing come in to that? You know, is it at the organizer level? Is it over here in communications, or is it right here, right under the top? Because obviously the executive director has to be there, right? So, and if you can get in at that point and make people understand that that's where you need to be, where you are developing your own as much knowledge and understanding of the policy and the political sides of each issue to be able to be as articulate as the communications department is in a traditional communication sense, you'll have a hell of a lot easier time letting everyone else in the organization trust your work.
Question, how did you get the authority to be able to be viewed as a co or like senior director and all that stuff?
Well, the lucky thing is that there aren't that many staff.